guys, welcome back to Vlogmas. This drink is hot. Today it's a pretty chilly day, not gonna lie. But I put on a very warm little beanie. It's not little, it's actually a big beanie that I actually won in a giveaway. I've never won a giveaway before, but it's so cozy and so warm. It's like one of my new favorites, so it's quite cute. Anyways, today I thought it would be fun to do a little Q&A / assumptions video. I actually asked you guys on Instagram a few months ago and I got some great responses, but I just didn't really have time to film it and it didn't really align with my video schedule, so I thought, hey, let's make it a Vlogmas video. Grab a drink, grab a snack. I have my hot cocoa, and let's just jump into these questions. First question is, what made you want to start your own podcast? So for those who do not know, I have my own podcast. It is called Blooming Roses, and it is where we share stories of growth while blooming in adversity. And on that podcast, I interview different guests who have not only impacted my life, but have impacted the community around them. And they share their story and lessons they've learned along the way and different advice for whatever the episode pertains to. So I really enjoy creating that podcast and interviewing all the guests that I've interviewed so far. It's very, very special and I absolutely love it. But since 2018, I've been a contributor to Unmistakably Star Wars podcast. And that's kind of where I got my first taste of podcasts. And it was something that fascinated me, and I thought that one day it'd be cool to make a podcast, but I never knew what I would want it to be about. I go into more details about all of this and how my podcast came to be in the welcome episode on the Blooming Roses podcast, so I'll link that below so you guys can go and check that out. But long story short, I had a video series on my channel called Blooming Roses Project, and that is where I interviewed different CF warriors and gave them a chance for them to share their story. And I put up about 7 episodes, I think, and I loved it, but it just wasn't doing as well as I had hoped it would. And I knew there had to be another way that I could do this, but also broaden it. So it wasn't just people with cystic fibrosis, that is in different areas of different people in all different stages of life. So it's kind of what caused my podcast to come about. What film do you think everyone should watch at least once in their lives? That's hard. I'll answer this in 2 parts. One movie that I think everyone should watch is 5 Feet Apart. It's one of my favorite movies, but also it really shows and describes things about my life and my friends' lives with cystic fibrosis. Just the different characters, I can really relate to them, and it shows the different part of CF that I don't normally talk about a lot. But also it's just an incredibly well done movie, and I just think if anyone ever wants to understand more about cystic fibrosis, to go and check out that movie. So I highly recommend that movie. The second part I'll answer this is my favorite era of film is the Hollywood Golden Age era. So that is like the 1930s to the 1960s. So a lot of like the classic movies. That's where most of my favorite movies come from that era, such as White Christmas, Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music, What's Up Doc, Breakfast at Tiffany's. You know, I can go on and on, but there's even more classic movies that I love, and I think that era has really changed and shaped what film is today. So I highly recommend that someone watch at least a couple movies from that time. What book do you think everyone should read at least once in their lives? I would have to say Fahrenheit 451. That is one of my favorite books. I read it in high school, and I know it's not everyone's favorite, but to me it's such a fascinating read, and also there's a lot of foreshadowing in it of what our world is coming to today, and it's really crazy how there's like so much foreshadowing, but it's such an interesting read and I really enjoy it. Next is an assumption, and it says, "You're smiling all the time." So on my social media, I am smiling a lot of the time, and I know sometimes social media can make it look like your life is perfect and everything like that, but you know, in reality, you know, I do have my bad days, and I do have days that are difficult for me, but I am a person who tries to find the positives in different situations, but also I know that a lot of my joy comes from God, and every day I want it to make sure that God's love and God's joy is seen through me and I can share that with others. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm always smiling all the time, because there will be days that are hard for me, just like everybody else. You know, Instagram and YouTube and social media and everything like that, it's most of the time it's people's highlights and what they want to show the most. I know if I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to post that. So, you know, I am smiling a lot of the time, but I'm not smiling all the time. And another assumption that says, "You could still show a goat and win showmanship." So about a month ago, I had done a room tour, and right above here, above my chair, I showed you that there is a shelf of 3 belt buckles, and that was from when I was in 4-H, and I showed different animals and such. And I won showmanship, best exhibitor, and I had grand champion goat one year. And I worked hard at showing goats. Goats were my thing. That's what I did best at in 4-H. And so with my friend, assuming that I could still show a goat and win showmanship, you know, if it was my goat and if I knew I was going to show it, I could probably say I could probably place. I don't know about winning. I mean, you never know. But I could say I could probably place. If it was someone else's goat that I would have to show, I don't know. It's very hard to place when you're showing someone else's goat. So it depends whose goat it is that I'm showing. But I would say, yes, I could definitely still show a goat, but I could probably place. Depends. A lot has changed with the goat showmanship industry. There's a few things that judges like, and there's a few things that judges don't like anymore, so I don't know. I would have to brush up on what all the judges and people are liking nowadays for showmanship. Which was your favorite project and which wasn't? So in 4-H you have different projects that you do that you can learn different life skills and such, ranging from vegetable and gardening to leadership to photography. Because 4-H really teaches you different life skills. I was in 4-H for 10 years, so there's a lot of projects I was in, but my favorite would definitely have to be meat goats, goat project, and also pigs. I loved the pig project. So pig and goats, and then my least favorite was poultry. I loved all the animal projects most. Those are my favorites out of all the ones that I did. But poultry was my least favorite. I'm not a bird person. I did not enjoy raising birds when I did. But pigs and goats were my favorite. What was your favorite and least favorite part of 2020? My least favorite part of 2020 was losing someone who was very dear to me due to COVID-19. So that was hard. Favorite part of 2020, I think just, I have a few favorite parts of this year. Yes, it's been hard, but there's been also a lot of great moments. But one thing I've been realizing and looking back on is just how I was towards the beginning of this year, of where I was in my faith, and I don't know, drawing closer to God this year has definitely impacted my life for the better, and I've definitely grown as a person this year, and I've also grown closer to my parents, which I'm really grateful for. But yeah, I've definitely grown as a person, grown in my faith, grown close to my parents. I've grown closer to some of my long distance friends and my Colorado friends, and that's just been that's been a huge blessing in my life. So we have another assumption. You love baking. It sometimes. I prefer cooking. I enjoy cooking. I think cooking is fun. It's challenging. You can play around with it. Baking, I have to be in the mood for it. I can get annoyed with baking a lot because it's so tedious, and then like if you mess up one little thing, the whole thing is destroyed. So sometimes I enjoy baking, but it's rare when I have those days that I want to bake. What is your favorite musical and why? Also, list every musical you've ever seen in person. Okay, so my favorite musical, I have two of them, Lion King and Wicked. Lion King was the very first Broadway show that I had ever seen. I saw it in Denver, Colorado when it came out on tour. And then Wicked, the first time I saw it was in Sacramento in 2012, and then the second time I saw it was in 2000, I want to say 2016 or 17, but that may be wrong, in San Francisco. Lion King, it's my first Broadway show. It's so special and it's so beautiful. I actually saw it the second time in 2014 in New York City for my Make-A-Wish. And that was so special. I got to go behind the scenes. But The Lion King just holds a lot of special memories to me, and it's just the storyline is so beautiful. I love the Broadway show more than I do the movie. The storyline's beautiful. The set design is breathtaking. The vocals and everything, it's so beautiful. If I can recommend a show for someone to see for their first time, I would definitely recommend The Lion King. It is just the most unbelievable show ever. So I love that show so much. Wicked, I love anything that involves Oz. If you guys have been watching me for a while, or actually know me in life, you would know that I love Oz. I love anything Oz. But I love the twist of the story of how you think you know about the Wicked Witch of the West and from the Wizard of Oz, but in Wicked, you see the other side of the story. And it's such a cool show, and it's also a story of relating, if you feel like you don't fit in or just really, but it's just a story of knowing who you are and learning to find who you are, and it's just such an amazing, breathtaking show. I get chills every time I see it, and I love it so much. I love it so much. So list every Broadway show I've ever seen. So here's the thing. I see more Broadway shows than I do with concerts or anything like that. Okay, so in my New York box, I hold every single playbill of every single Broadway show I've ever seen. Then, every single Broadway show that I see, I collect these I collect these books that have behind the scenes of the Broadway show with pictures and drawings and sheet music. There are a couple shows that don't have these books, so if I can't remember what those are, then I'll just look at my Playbill box. So, this is going in order of the last musical that I saw to what I first saw. So, we have, where do I put this? Alright, so, put it over here. Alright, so, Anastasia, Hamilton. There were two different copies of Hamilton booklets when I saw it. Jersey Boys. This is when I saw it the second time. Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. So I'm already realizing one that I am missing, and that is Waitress. Waitress did not have one of these booklets. So there's Waitress. Kinky Boots. Beautiful, Carole King musical. I'm not seeing the playbill for Roman Holiday, because I don't think they had one yet when I saw it, but Roman Holiday. Then I went and saw the touring cast of Sound of Music that my friend was in. He played the understudy of Ralph. They didn't have these booklets, but this was the size of their playbill. So, Sound of Music. Motown. American in Paris. Something Rotten. Cinderella. The Lion King the second time I saw it. My grandma got this for me. This is the Mary Poppins one. I was supposed to see this, but then I was hospitalized the day before I was supposed to see it. So my grandma gave me this, but I haven't seen Mary Poppins. I wish. Evita. Beauty and the Beast. Ah, I forgot about that one. That was a good one. Newsies. Phantom of the Opera. Nice Work If You Can Get It. Once. Warhorse. Wicked. Oh, I just realized there was one I didn't see. Hold on. Yeah. So another one that I don't have a booklet of is Finding Neverland. They didn't have a booklet. So, Finding Neverland. Cats. Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. Do I have 2 Wicked books or 1? Okay. Can't remember if I already mentioned this, but I saw Wicked twice. And then Lion King, the first time I saw it. And these are just other brochures from other things, but I don't know how many shows I just listed. Let me count. So I've seen 27 Broadway shows. Wow, that's a lot. You know, I was supposed to see 3 others this year, which would have made 30. Yeah, I wanted to see, I was supposed to see Les Miserables, Mean Girls, and Frozen. That unfortunately did not happen. But, you know, honestly, when Broadway reopens, it's going to be sold out for months. But yeah, seeing 27 Broadway shows. Yeah, but anyways, there were other questions I received, but I think this is a good place to stop. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Vlogmas. I had so much, I cannot talk. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Vlogmas. I had so much fun sitting down talking with you guys. You guys got to know a little bit more about me and learn more about my obsession with Broadway. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.